welcome back to my channel. Today is Wednesday, September the 26th, and I am having the drawing for the men's cologne and the women's perfume to celebrate reaching my 1,000 subscribers, and also to celebrate my YouTube channel being monetized, and I now have advertisers. So that's going to bring in a little revenue for me, which I need, and I'm looking forward to. So if you didn't see my video on Sunday, hop over there and watch it, and you'll see me unboxing the perfume and the gifts from my friend Tracy. He sent it to me from Dallas. But anyway, to reiterate it, I am going to be having a drawing. So for you men out there, this is the Vince Camuto cologne. And like I said in my unboxing video, Tracy is a fragrance salesman, and he does get tester samples, and so the testers don't have a top on them, but y'all don't care, do you? I mean, doesn't affect the smell of the cologne. So for you men out there who watch me regularly and who are interested in cologne, just in the comments, just leave the word cologne, and then I will enter your name into a drawing. And also for my women subscribers, this is Vince Camuto, the Fiore perfume. Also, it doesn't have the lid. Who cares? So I'll be giving this away also. So in the comments below, just leave the word perfume, and I will put your name in a drawing. Now, I'm going to tell you that it will probably be November before I can mail these out, because I'm going to be real short on money in October. When I was in a frantic state of mind last Saturday, first Jill texted me, and she said, I'm in urgent care with Issa. And it wasn't 10 minutes later, she called me, and she said, we're in the back of an ambulance. You know, Issa can't breathe. So all I did was grab my medicine and my purse, and got in the car, and I left in a frantic state of mind, and I was just flying, trying to get to Long Island, which is usually a 3-hour drive. With it's only 55 miles, but with all of the New York traffic and everything, it sometimes takes 2.5 to 3 hours. And then I had to go to the hospital. You know, she was en route to the emergency room at Winthrop University Hospital, which is even further into Long Island. So I was just flying up the turnpike, and sure enough, I got pulled over. So it was a female state trooper, and she said, do you know how fast you were going? And I told her, I said, I don't know, about probably 75. And she said, you were going 85. And so I just burst out squalling. And I told her, I said, my grandson is fighting for his life. He's in the back of an ambulance. I have to get to Long Island. So she said, well, let me see your license, registration, and insurance. So I gave it to her, and she went to her car, and she came back, and she said, what I did, she said, I gave you a break. She said, I wrote the ticket for, this is it right here. She said, I wrote the ticket for 74, that you were going 74 miles an hour, which is only 9 miles over the speed limit. So thank the good Lord, because she said if she had written it for the 85 that I was actually going, then it would have been reckless driving. It would have been points on my license. You know, it just would have been awful. So she did give me a break, and I am thankful for that. But it's actually due tomorrow, but I'm going to have to be late paying it. But I will pay it out on my October 3rd Social Security check, and it's $86. So that was a big a favor that she did for me, and I'm thankful for that. And she told me, you know, just slow down. You know, it's not going to help any if you get in a wreck. So I did. I finally got my head together and tried to calm myself down. But y'all know how it is when you're in this state of fear and panic, you know. And you won't believe this, but because it was a Jewish holiday, traffic was very light. You know, the Jewish people don't drive during their holidays, and traffic was so light that I made it in an hour and a half. And Issa was there in the emergency room, and he had gotten the steroid breathing treatments, and he was breathing better, but when he was in the ambulance, Jill told me he was breathing through his auxiliary muscles. He was going, and it was just very frightening. He could have died. So anyway, all of that is behind us now. And so, but I wanted y'all to know that even though I'll probably go ahead and draw the names for the perfume and the cologne in October, it's probably going to, because I do have car insurance to pay, another car insurance premium to pay, and then I won't have to pay any more for November and December. So that'll give me some extra money. So I'll send the perfume out and the cologne out in November, I promise. So good luck to you, leaving your name below, and we will have the drawing. So anyway, I did want to pick up with my Dr. Corruption and the Devil Wife stories. Now, I worked for them a total of 10 months, and I really would have stayed longer, but I started having all kinds of health problems, and it was from the stress and the mistreatment and all the derogatory terminology and things that she said to me and did to me. So right before Christmas, I was having a lot of problems with my stomach. So I was having to go to a gastroenterologist, and it was just from the stress, having IBS symptoms and all that. And then because I had to climb, those 3 sets of stairs every day, and some days, even though there was a vacuum cleaner on the 3rd floor, I didn't use it because it was old, it didn't pick up. So I would take that new Oric vacuum cleaner that Dr. Corruption had bought me. I would drag it upstairs to the 3rd floor. Now, to the 3rd floor of that house, y'all saw how big it is. The stairs were winding. So I would drag that up there and then have to bring it back down. So I guess from the weight of the vacuum cleaner and the weight of all the laundry that I was taking up and bringing down, that I got this plantar fasciitis on the soles of my feet. And you talk about burning and hurting. So then I started having to go to a podiatrist. So I had gone to the doctor, and so the podiatrist, he wanted me to stay off my feet for a few days. So I called the Devil Wife and asked her for a few days off, and I told her, the problems that I was having and everything. And so I had gotten her voicemail. I want y'all to know that she called me back and fired me on my voicemail. She left me a message and said, "Glenda, this just isn't working out. I don't think you need to come back." So it was actually a blessing in disguise. I was upset that I had lost my job, my $500 a week job, but it was killing me, and that was one time in my life when I put money ahead of my health, and I'm ashamed to admit it, but I did, and it's something that I will never do again. But on to why I call him Dr. Corruption. Now he is under contract and confidentiality contract with he was doing clinical trials for Wyeth and Elon pharmaceutical companies. And these trials are for a drug, to try to find a drug that will help there are 5 million Americans who suffer from a disease for which there's no treatment and of course no cure for, and not even a way to treat it successfully. So he was doing these drug trials, and so he got contacted by the hedge fund manager for, who was in control of the stock for the pharmaceutical companies. So Dr. Corruption started meeting, under the table with this hedge fund manager, and the hedge fund manager was paying him thousands and thousands of dollars to tip him off about these drugs. Are they going to be brought to the market? Did they pass the clinical trials? And no, they did not. And Dr. Corruption knew it. So he was being paid to give the stockbroker, underhanded tips about the drug trials. So the day before the drug companies were to convene and meet and make this announcement to the stockholders that, these drug trials weren't successful, the hedge fund manager sold all the stock. And it was the biggest stock scheme in American history. He sold it for $276 million. Well, of course, the Securities and Exchange Commission, they're going to be looking into this. Why did this stock get dumped the day before, the announcement? So the Securities and Exchange Commission, they started digging and looking into it, and they saw these emails between Dr. Corruption and with this stockbroker, and they followed up on it. They followed up on the emails, and they charged the stockbroker with I don't know what it's called, stock stock bribery or whatever. And they did arrest him, and they arrested Dr. Corruption. Well, Dr. Corruption, being the little sizzling snake that he is, he was offered a plea deal that if he testified against the hedge fund manager, then they would let him off scot-free. And he did. He told all about it. He told all about giving him the secrets about the drug trials and how some of his patients had been hospitalized with, swelling on the brain and different things that had gone wrong with the drugs that he was prescribing them. And he got off scot-free. And y'all see that in my video, the house that he sold, and then that big, beautiful 6,000 square foot beachfront home that he bought. And y'all, I'm sorry about the clicking. I thought I turned off the notification bell, but I didn't. So I apologize for that. But he got off scot-free, and not only that, he went and opened him up a brand new office. And he did not even lose his medical license. But, that irks me, that somebody can get away with doing something so horrible to people who bought stock in these drug companies and lost all of their money and everything. I mean, how can you do that and not have a conscience and just be able to go and continue to treat people and still running clinical drug trials? It doesn't make sense. Where's the fairness in that? I know he'll get, his comeuppance someday. God does not, he does not look kindly on people who do that kind of evil. But that is why that I called him Dr. Corruption. But anyway, I hope you enjoyed. This is the end of that nanny job and this series of those Nanny Diaries. So y'all please watch my ads. I'm so excited. Give me a thumbs up, ring the bell, subscribe, and y'all just keep on coming back. Bye now.